The Rookie series is all about getting to know Final Cut as quickly as possible. However, there are details not covered in the 15 Rookie lessons that are important for you to know. These ancillary lessons will fill those gaps. The second ancillary lesson, Rookie Lesson 17, covers the preference settings in Final Cut. As this is a beginner series, I'll only discuss the settings that affect the normal operations, and you'll leave the others at the default setting. At the top left of your screen, you'll see the Final Cut menu. Select Preferences, and the first tab is General. I'd leave the time display set at hours, minutes, seconds plus frames. Choose which type of colour correction you prefer. I use colour wheels, but that's up to you. Best to leave the inspector units at pixels. Next, the Editing tab. Leave the top three as default. Audio fade is the time automatically set for an audio to fade in or out. Still image is the default length, that's the duration of a still image or photo or freeze frame that you've added to the timeline. The smallest number is 0.01. Use that for stop motion effects. You can also set the default duration for transitions. And now the Playback tab. The most important is to know about the background render option. In a nutshell, if you've got a fast computer, leave it checked as it will speed up your exports. Final Cut needs to render the timeline before it can export a project. If it's rendered in the background while you are not working, then the export will start much earlier. If you've got it ticked, then change the start time to a couple of seconds, so it's not continually switching on and off to background render. As a beginner, leave the other settings as they are unless you know those specific choices. Except for player background, which is really useful when you've used transform in the viewer, and just to check that there are no gaps at the edges. If you temporarily select the checkerboard and look in the viewer, if there's a gap, you'll see the checkerboard in the background. And to see that for a moment, just select the transform tool in the viewer and drag a corner dot inwards, and you'll see that checkerboard at the edge. Command-Z to reset. The import controls are the same settings as you would have set for import when you selected the downward arrow. When you change them here, they'll also change for your downward arrow imports. If you want to see a video on the import selections, select the eye above. And destinations, these were discussed in Lesson 15. And finally, I'd like to discuss the use of the Delete Preferences command, or as it's commonly known, Trash Preferences. To explain, when there are strange things occurring in Final Cut, it's sometimes possible to clear up those issues by trashing the preferences. But to calm your fears, trashing preferences does not delete any of your footage. It does not affect anything that you've edited. It simply resets the preferences back to the default settings. And when the preferences have been reset, you'll need to bring them back to your preference settings after you've deleted preferences. And how do you delete preferences? Well, quit Final Cut Pro, and when you relaunch, hold the Command and Option keys down, and you'll see this window. Select Delete Preferences and Final Cut will launch as normal, and hopefully the glitch will be fixed. If you're looking for one-on-one tuition with Final Cut Pro, just click on trainingfinalcutpro.com, and I'd be happy to set up a personalised training program. But if you're just looking for answers on a specific topic, I can offer free Final Cut Pro support via email for urgent issues as you're confronted with them. Let me know in the comments below if you've got areas that you struggle with in Final Cut, and I'd be happy to produce a YouTube video to help you solve those issues. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and press the bell. There are new videos every Sunday.